Now it is my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker for today, who is perhaps the most impressive businesswoman I've ever met. And she's going to tell us about that. What I found particularly impressive was the way your business weathered the pandemic, and I'm sure we'll get to hear about that too. So without further ado, please join me.
My name is Stephanie. I'm not from here. I'm actually from Fort Wayne, Indiana, and attended college at Indiana University, which is where I met my husband, Tom, who is from here. So that's kind of what ended up ultimately bringing us to Bedford right out of college. We lived in, we lived in Broad Ripple at first, and then we lived in Westfield, Indiana. And then in 2011, I believe is the year that Tom got a job offer down here with the Parsons family, helping manage Bedford recycling, and we moved down here. And at that time, I had just kind of started my little baby business after having had 3 kiddos, and that business was Blue Eyes and Bare Feet, which was a children's clothing collection that I made myself. So I was like, okay, well, all I need is a sewing machine and a post office, and I can move anywhere. So we moved down here, and then once we moved down here, his brothers are still in Indianapolis. My sister lives up in Westfield as well. So we still have family closer in Indy, but his mom and dad are still here. So we both had very strong and very wonderful experiences with our grandparents in our lives. So we knew that we wanted that for our children as well. So that was kind of our driving force when we moved down here. And then of course, once we were down here, Sarah and Larry wouldn't stop asking for more grandchildren. So, and Tom and I were the only ones that stepped up to the plate. So we ended up having our 2 more boys down here, Jacob and Thomas. So we have 5 total, 12-year span. We kind of think we were done and then weren't done and all that. So as you can imagine, if you're a mom as well, working with children, trying to grow a career or any sort of anything, being a mom as well, it's a balance, it's a big balance. So my business has always been driven by keeping that balance being a mom. And so being able to sew and work from home was important to me. And then as they got to more, preschool ages and could go to like a mom's morning out or be in preschool during the day, that's when I kind of started wondering, I wonder if I could have a space to work outside my house. And, the beauty of a small town is that I could find a really affordable place to do that. So our first little studio was next to the Edward Jones office right there on 16th Street, a little bit cat-a-corner to where we are now in our storefront. And I just got that space as a way to just get out of my house, get all this fabric out of my house, get the sewing machines out of my house, and be in town. Because when we moved down here, we lived out in Williams, and the home Sarah and Larry still owned till we figured out where we're going to live. So at first, it was nice to be able to come to town, work in town while they were at school, and then go home. And then eventually we ended up buying our home in town on 13th Street. And then we have our house now. But anyways, we're still in town now. So now we're in Bedford. But it was a great way for me to balance kind of having stuff out of my home. And then when I had the studio, the natural thing then was people would ask, well, are you going to open the store? Are you going to open the doors? And I was like, well, I didn't think of that. I just wanted a place to not have my sewing machine in my house. So then it turned into, well, I'll kind of do open hours, like on weekends, certain weekends of the month with my children's line. I also took my collection on the road a lot to barn markets, fairs, different things like that. That was the primary source of me selling my children's brand. And then I'd just come home to my little studio, and then I'd open up the studio. And then I think it was about July of 2013, after our 4th baby, I decided to, that's when I got my studio. Never mind. Yeah, that's when I got my studio. And then that kept going. And then people, they just keep asking for more. That's where I'm at. I'm only here because you guys keep asking for more. And so I had the studio to sew. Then I opened it for my kids' clothes. Then it's, when are you going to have women's clothes? And I was like, well, I can't make women's clothes. Rowena, you were one of the first people I ever met because of our shared love for making clothes. When we talk, I mean, people are not going to pay. There's a lot of time and energy in making clothes, right? And especially women's clothes, because, you know, the fit and everything else and the fabric and all of that. I was like, I guess I don't think you guys will pay for it. But so then I started researching, well, what if I had some women's clothing that I didn't make that would look really cute with my collection that I could then offer the moms, you know, pre the whole mommy me movement, right? We wanted things that like, okay, if you're going to have family pictures, you know, what are some women's clothing that I could sell alongside my brand? So that's when that piece started. And then that piece took off kind of on its own little organic way. And it was in January of 2016 that we decided to kind of separate the two things and have the Lemon Seed Boutique be its own, like obviously marketed. This is a women's clothing boutique. I did not make anything for that store. That was everything I bought. I just bought for the store. I was the buyer, continued to be the buyer and the creative of our store. And so the kids line eventually ended up getting rebranded to Roxy Rose. It ended up getting manufactured in Tennessee with a manufacturing partner because I got too busy with the storefront to be able to sell everything myself. And now my manufacturer is retiring this year. So Roxy, but it's okay because everything grows with the season and now my girls are my size. So, you know, what was a passion when they were little is now, you know, drawing them into the store and what we then, again, we curate and buy for the store now. And so all of that led to our new location in about April, I think it was end of April, 2017 in our location we are now. Right next to downtown at Descartes, which is beautifully renovated if you've not been inside, smashed between Limestone Cafe. So I'm right there in between there. And yeah, it's been great. The town has loved our store. We're really grateful. Everything was going really wonderful. And then, you know, there's a pandemic. So, and nobody really wants to get outside and shop because, you know, we don't know enough about this virus. We don't know where the heck it's coming and going. So I had to make really tough decisions as a business owner to protect my family. I got a big family. So we closed the store for about 8 weeks and we had already started to do more online right before the pandemic, really. And that was a good thing because then when we had to pretty much go exclusively online, I had already had kind of dabbled in it and worked out some of the back end kinks because a lot of people had said for so many years, why are you online? Why aren't you online? And I just would tell them like being online is another full-time job. You don't just take a picture and put it online. Like I wish it was that easy, but it is a full back end full-time job. So the pandemic really opened the door for us to switch to that side of it, work out all of the kinks on that. And ultimately the blessing in disguise was that I could turn on a camera, show cute clothes on me, turn off the camera and have sales and go home to my babies and not worry about opening the store, closing the store, merchandising the store, barcoding and tagging and steaming. And again, it's a whole, they're two full-time jobs, running the store full-time and running the online business. They're two very much full-time jobs. I was kind of getting tired already. We have great staff, but there's still so much more to do. So this new balance became really amazing for me and my family in that basically half of the week we're kind of online focused. I get ready for my live shows. We get all of our inventory ready online. We get it photographed beautifully, thankfully, with local photographer Tara. And then the back half of the week, we open the store Thursdays through Saturdays. And we're still figuring out those, you know, so there's still inventory logistics and things like that, doing both at the same time, but at least having kind of a drawing line in the week, it has helped us out a lot. And then of course the freedom with being able to do the live shows and have then the staff. I don't pack very many orders anymore. The staff does. So then they come in, they know what they need to do. My daughter's now one of our, you know, employees because she's 17 and it makes sense. So she comes in and packs orders and we just kind of keep the whole show moving with all of that. And that was also nice because even when we were still figuring out, you know, the logistics of COVID and how it gets spread, I mean, it was nice because they packaged orders. I didn't touch orders. Like we could still feel really confident, I guess, in our safety to keep the job going, right? To keep the job going. Because there was a point, even when we opened the store, we felt like, once I try something on, we have to figure out how to steam it before it goes back on the floor. And it was just like so many of these crazy logistics I never in my wildest dreams thought I'd have to worry about as a business owner. Or like policing masks or stupid things like that. Like never in my life did I think I'm gonna open a retail store and then have to do all these crazy hoops and hurdles just to like open my doors safely. Like it was just a very wild time. But I'm very thankful that our best customers, our top customers, new customers that maybe didn't shop with us all that much because they were busy working, that never met our, our store hours didn't really accommodate. Now they were shopping online with us regularly because it made it more convenient for them. So I'm really thankful that there were so many of our local customers willing to just like jump on and adapt and do this with us. And so we obviously had our website and the online platform for live selling that we use, which led us to then be able to get our own app that you can download on your phone, where you can watch our live shows, shop everything on our app. And that has been, and that's also tied to our online platform that we use. So all of that's like cohesive and in its own thing. And then of course, it just wasn't enough of a challenge then. Then it was just like, well, what else can we do, right? So in the midst of growing the Lemon Seed Boutique, obviously it was very much about me and what I loved and sharing my love for fashion with locals. And then online became be able to share with anybody anywhere that's watching. And there was something I had been stewing inside me since about the fall before the pandemic even came about. And that was that I really felt a pull to have the business be even more family oriented around my family and our like lifestyle. We love to travel, we love to camp, we love to get outside when we can, because we're busy with running kids everywhere most of the time, but we like to do big road trips when we can and things like that. And just products that went along with that kept clashing with like the store, the Lemon Seed Boutique, right? So long story short to that, we baby launched our new retail, Williams Mercantile, online in like December of 2020. I did great, had a great first little run. And then the Lemon Seed like really took off online and I was so insanely busy. There was like no way I could dedicate, because they were kind of both different creatives in some ways, right? They're different expressions of creativity in different ways. They're different buying, different products in some ways as well. Some overlap, some were different. I'm really passionate about natural products for the home, body, hair, and I wanted to be able to represent that in our store. So we just started kind of getting the products that I really cared about. And then I just felt like ultimately they were what we would have offered on Williams Mercantile, but we never had the time to like really promote. And then, so anyways, I got to a point where I was like, it'd been a couple of years of me saying to my husband, this business is bigger than me now. I mean, it's bigger than me. Like I'm busy and I'm grateful, but that balance is teetering with what I want to be able to still do with my kids and at home and be there for things. And so we got really, really grateful and thankful that Tom was at company locally. By now he was at JA Benefits locally, amazing company. And he had no loss of income during the pandemic, which was amazing. While I scrambled we were within 1%. 2020 sales were within 1% of 2019. And that is something I am wildly proud of, because I sold puzzles. I sold whatever it took. I was not going to go backwards. That's the only thing I said to myself. I said, I'm okay with no growth. I think that was expected by every retailer out there. Some did grow, some did, whatever, but I just didn't want to go backwards. So, while I saw lots of other people get to enjoy a lot of family time during the pandemic, I did not. I barely saw my kids during the pandemic, and that did not sit well with me by the time I came into 2021. And I felt like it was just way out of balance. This was just so much to manage. Again, once you open the store online and you have the store front and store, they're full-time jobs, and we have great staff, but nobody wanted more hours than they were doing, because we're all moms. We're all a bunch of moms other than my daughter. And then it was just like, well, then I would have to hire somebody. And how do I hire somebody? And who do I know? And all of that is really stressful for my personality, like really stressful. And ultimately, thankfully, because again, Tom never had a loss of income, we were able to start really getting serious about him coming on board. I was like, I'm never going to trust anybody more than you. The skill set that he brings to the table is a very much opposite of mine, which has been another new fun dynamic for us to figure out. But by the September of last year, he was able to resign fully from JA Benefits and came on board with our business. So once he did that, then we got asked, well, are you gonna have men's clothes? Are you gonna have men? Well, Tom's there now. Does that mean you're gonna have guys stuff? And it was like, because it does. That's just what happens, right? That's just what happens. So anyways, all of that has been good. Him coming on board has been great. It's been the balance we wanted. You know, we were able to then make the, you know, as a financial advisor, my previous before business life. So, you know, we felt really confident. We had done all the things to really prepare us to take this leap of faith. I was like, we got 6 months. We got 6 months. We can go for this. And that is now long gone. So but we're still here. So that's good. We're past the 6 month and we still can pay our mortgage. So we're all right. But we also knew kind of how to put ourselves in position. It means, you know, my van is going to be my van for many more years, and that's okay. Like there's certain decisions that you make to be able to keep doing your dream and go after your dream. And for me, that's having a minivan for a little longer than I wanted to, but that's okay. And so he came on board. We've been doing that. And now again, of course, not just because of that. You guys know I'm joking, right? Like it's because it is a heart in us too, right? Like that we say yes to growing and moving and changing. But I also felt the pandemic has really changed the way that we dress and the way that we approach life and the places that we go or don't go and the different things that we're doing. And I had been feeling that shift for a long time. I adjusted my buying for that reason. But then I started to feel like, well, you're such a boring boutique owner. You're selling all these plain Jane clothes that are solid and basic, and that's not boutique-y. That's not what they want, you know? That's not flashy. That's not fun. And I'm like, so I kind of had that little bit of that imposter syndrome of like, well, my name doesn't match up with what I'm selling the most, because we sell a lot of great basics, a lot of great denim. That's kind of our bread and butter in our store. But I've always been that way. So I really don't know why I tell myself these things, but it just is what it is. But then again, the passion for travel and being on the road and having products that were more home, body, health, natural, that was very important to me. And so that's when we made the decision, which again, we've been talking about for quite a while, but we decided instead of trying to build Williams Mercantile all by itself and see who wins, which was our original goal, we'll just see who wins. I was like, you know what, it's what our heart is, it's where our passion is. Let's just do it. Let's just change the name and go for it. So that's what we're in the process of doing right now. We're going to be, the whole store will be rebranded eventually to Williams Mercantile. Online is a little more challenging, new domains, new different stuff like that. Doing the dance of your username, now this, now that. I don't want to make Facebook mad. So you got to do these things real carefully, which is fine. I don't think our customers are worried about it because we are changing our product lineup ever so slightly, but it's not like dramatically different, because what has been selling the best has been all of those everyday basics and great pieces. Higher quality is definitely a passion of mine. And that was something that I felt started to, I don't know, deteriorate in the world of boutique that I've been in and witnessed for however many years now, 7 or 8 years. Having been a designer and a sewer of clothes myself, we know what to look for. So you just start seeing the things that don't sit as much. So it was getting a little harder to find the brands that I love, that I felt met the quality that I wanted to be able to offer people. And that coupled with the fact that we love this other side of our life, we wanted to really make the store more a experience of, like, when you walk in, it really feels like you know who we are, like it's represented in our store, and that everything's very authentic and real. Plus, the other side of it is, like, one thing I didn't also ever think or plan for in being a retailer would be that I would have to also become an entertainer to make sales. So, you know, having the, you know, on point TikTok of the day or like whatever, to catch the eyes of people, I never thought would be like a thing. So now, like, I'm like, well, I'm not dancing. I was not a dancer. I like to dance, but it's not coordinated. It's not fun. It's not attractive. And it's not gonna make you want to buy anything that I offer. So I was like, man, and then I would struggle with, I just don't know how to be an entertainer in that way. I love going live. I love speaking. That is a passion of mine. That was awesome that worked out. But the other side of it, like, you know, attracting you to come watch our store, go shop online or whatever that may be. I don't know what to do. I'm a runner, not a dancer. I don't know how to entertain in that way. And so I remember saying to Tom one night, I was like, you know, if I got to be an entertainer, then I want to do what I love. I want to just share what I love. I want to share my daily life. And I want that daily life to be cohesive with what we're offering in the store. And that also is what pushed us to lead to the change for Williams Mercantile. Because then we felt like we could really just share in our life in the things that we love naturally. Because I got kind of, I mean, maybe some of you guys can agree. I don't know how much you guys got to work from home too, but like I got a little used to my Mondays and Tuesdays. I never really had to put makeup on. I never had to get jammies on. And then it would be like, okay, well, I got to make a TikTok. So I guess I got to put my face on today and look cute and like, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I want to do me the way that I am. And if that's what people like, they like it. If they don't like it, they don't like it. That's okay. Because that's the other beauty I think that came out of the pandemic with the rise of social media and being able to, and I say that social media has been around, but the video side of social media, the TikTok reels on Instagram side of social media is that you could be literally the most unique person yourself to your, authentic to your core. And there will be a pocket of people that you can find in the online world and that will love you, who you are, how you are, and you don't have to be anything different for anybody else, right? And that really gave me kind of that more of that confidence to be like, you know what, we've been rolling out these changes, we've been talking about changes, we've been rolling out these new products, and like saw an order this morning, first time order from Idaho. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about, right? Because it'll open the door to the right pockets of people. And if that's locally, amazing. I hope so. I hope it continues to stay really well supported locally. But I also have my eye on my little black and white store in Estes Park that when it goes for lease, I'm ready. I'm ready with the branding, Williams Mercantile. We're ready to put these products there because it fits that too. And I could pick it up and move it anywhere that I wanted to go because it's who I am. And you really can't fail when you're doing that. So we'll see if I'm still here a year from now, if my husband and I are still married, if, like all the things, that's been really entertaining. So if you guys have any questions on that, that's kind of my story. That's kind of where we are now. So we're in the midst of this rolling out this new branding, which again, isn't anything different. If you've followed us in the last 6 or 8 months, it's not going to be anything wildly new for you. But we've had a lot of people, we've rolled out this athleisure brand that we love. We've been carrying them for 3 years and we've had people be like, oh, I can't wait to go see that. I love this new brand. And I'm like, that's because for 3 years, you tied the term boutique to an expectation and you haven't come shop with us because you didn't need anything boutique, right? So you didn't know that we would have everyday things, right? Because I didn't do enough TikToks to show you. I don't know, but so I'm really excited because I really feel like the rebrand is going to really help represent everything we've really already been doing and then open the door for, maybe the guys' clothes or maybe the whatever. But we do have some men's, kind of like, I don't know what you call men's beauty products. I don't know how you call men's like bathroom stuff. Grooming. There's the word. Grooming. There's a good word for it. But we have like solid cologne for men and other fun things that have done really well in the store. And so we'll kind of expand out on that. We're really proud. We've been going after some bigger brands to carry in our stores, some nation brands. And we're really excited that Gooder Sunglasses said yes to us. If you've never heard of Gooder Sunglasses, you've got to come try them on. They're definitely perfect for all the activities. Like they're no slip, no bounce, polarized, and they're amazing. I did a 50K with my sister out in Utah in April. That's 31 miles. We did a run walk. We did not run the whole thing. We're not that in shape, but I wore these glasses and I never had to adjust them the entire race. Dirt, tears, sweat. They really are amazing. So they're great for athletic lifestyle. They're great for boating. Anytime, where you're like, or you're fishing and you're like going to get the fish, they're not going to fall off your face. They're amazing. So we're really excited. They said yes to us. Life is Good, huge brand, said yes to us. So we are carrying those 2 brands in the store right now. And we have more brands that will continue to roll out as we get more yeses. So, and I do attribute like those yeses, I do believe are coming from our presence on social media and the way we presented ourselves with photography. And I'm really grateful for my local friend and photographer, Tara, for being able to really execute my dream and my vision for how we want to show off our store. And I think that I'd like to believe those are why we're getting some of these yeses from larger retailers, because these are big guys that they don't say yes to everybody. And when you get a yes, you get to be the only one. And so that's really awesome to me. Not that I'm out to compete with Dunham Sports, but if we could be a baby version where we carry some of those brands that Dunham's isn't going to carry, but we have like a selection cool like that with some name brands, we're really proud of that. We're really excited to see where that, like, where this step next takes us for that. So you give me a soapbox and I'll go. So
You can sound so box. You're gonna applaud because this was really great and inspiring, and then we'll let these guys ask.
okay, yeah. Who's got a question? I love questions.
So are you changing the lemon seed name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the whole name, every branding, anything lemon seed will now be Williams Mercantile.
So you're staying in the same place?
Yes. Same store, same everything there. All of our back end is actually the same, so nobody loses rewards, nobody loses any account credits, gift cards, all of that. You can still bring in a lemon seed gift card, it still works on our back end. It's just that everything going forward will be branded Williams Mercantile.
And it's open when?
It's already been open. We're not, so we're open right now. We're open Thursdays and Fridays 10 to 5 and Saturdays 10 to 2. That was kind of the new hours established by the pandemic. Only Abby's allowed to call me on my do not disturb. This daughter of mine, she's good. She does. She's always gets through anyway. But yeah, we used to be Tuesday through Saturday, but we kind of dropped Tuesday, Wednesday so I could focus on the online and going live. And actually right now, still as of right now this year, which I wondered how that would trend post-ish pandemic, if that will ever be a thing. But we are still 80 to 85% of our sales come through our online platform. They do not come from our store. So we need people to come back in the store for, well, then, but we need people to come in the store more than once a year. I hate to have it be a giveaway, but when people come in, they're like, oh, you've rearranged a store, then you don't say that. Because then I know how long it's been. Don't say that. Don't tell me that, okay? Just say, oh my God, I love the layout. Just compliment the store. Don't tell me how I move the register around or how there's something different, because then I know the dates, okay? Which again, I get it. Like there's no hard feelings, but we do need to see, the store traffic. And I think it will naturally, because a lot of the products we are carrying really you need to see it, you need to smell them. I can't, you want to smell the cologne. That's how you gonna sell it online. You need to smell the soaps and the shampoo bars and the different things we have. So a lot of what we carry, you do want to come see in person and smell it and touch it and feel it. But the online platform is not slowing down. So I'm not able to bump those hours back yet till we somehow staff up, which at this point I have 5 children and built-in staff. So until they grow, I don't have a need, to stress about it. So. Any other good questions?
Thank you. Rotarians, the things that we think, say, and do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendship? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And is it fun? Thank you. See you. Okay, Debbie's got something to pass out.